Captain stood on the bridge of the Perseverance and looked at the planet below. After 40 years of traveling through space, they had finally arrived. The planet was beautiful. Blue oceans covered most of its surface, and green continents waited for them to land. 5,000 people slept in pods on his ship, dreaming of their new home. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," said the communications officer. Her name was Saul, and she looked worried. Nodded, "Put it on screen." The flickered, an alien face appeared. It had 4 eyes, gray skin, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. The creature stared at them with something that looked like disgust. "I am Commander-in of the K Empire," the alien said. Its voice was deep and cold. "You have entered our territory without permission. This planet belongs to us." Doctor stepped forward. She was the ship's chief scientist and expert on alien life. "We didn't know this sector was claimed. Our scans showed no settlements on the planet. We've traveled 40 years to reach this world. Surely we can negotiate." In laughed, it was an ugly sound. "Negotiate? You are primitives, your ship is slow and weak. Your bodies are fragile, you have no right to negotiate with us." The alien leaned closer to the camera. "I will be generous. You have 48 hours to leave this system. If you remain, we will destroy your ship and everyone on it." "We have 5,000 colonists," said calmly. "Men, women, and children. They've given up everything for this journey. Please, there must be another way." 48 hours, In repeated. "Do not test our patience. The K Empire has crushed 100 species. You will be nothing but dust if you stay." The screen went dark. Silence filled the bridge. Everyone looked at Captain, waiting for orders. He sat in his chair and rubbed his tired eyes. He had been awake for 3 days straight, guiding the ship to its destination. Now this. Lieutenant spoke first. "Captain, we need to scan their fleet. We need to know what we're facing." "Already on it," said engineer from his station. He was the best engineer had ever known. "I'm detecting 12K warships in orbit. Each one is twice our size. They have plasma weapons, energy shields, and faster engines than us." "Can we outrun them?" someone asked. Shook his head. "Not a chance. They're 3 times faster than the Perseverance. If we run, they'll catch us in hours." Doctor pulled up data on her tablet. "I've been studying the transmission. The K are a warrior race. They've conquered dozens of star systems. Species either surrender to them immediately or get wiped out. There's no record of anyone successfully fighting them." "Then what do we do?" Saul asked. "We can't fight them and we can't run from them." Stood up and walked to the window. He stared at the planet below. Somewhere down there was the future his people had dreamed about for decades. Green fields, clean air, a new beginning. He thought about the 5,000 people sleeping on his ship. They trusted him to keep them safe. "Call a senior staff meeting," said. 1 hour, conference room. We need to make a decision together." An hour later, 10 people sat around the conference table. These were the leaders of the colony. Scientists, engineers, doctors, and soldiers. They had all trained for years for this mission. "We have 3 options," began. "First, we surrender. We leave the system and try to find another planet, but our supplies are running low. The next habitable planet is 20 years away. Many of us won't survive the journey." Everyone nodded. They all knew the ship was old. The engines were barely working. The life support systems needed constant repairs. "Second option," continued. "We try to negotiate. Maybe we can share the planet with the K, or maybe we can offer them something in trade." "They won't negotiate," said. "I've studied their culture. They see us as insects. They don't trade with insects. They step on them." "Which brings us to option 3, Lieutenant said. She was a former Special Forces soldier from Earth. "We fight." Several people laughed. "Fight with what?" someone asked. "We're a colony ship. We have mining equipment and construction tools. They have warships and plasma cannons." Didn't laugh. "We have something they don't expect. We have human stubbornness. We have creativity, and we have protocol indomitable." Everyone fell silent. Protocol Indomitable was a secret plan. When Earth sent out colony ships, they knew that hostile aliens might exist, so they created emergency protocols, ways to defend themselves if diplomacy failed. "You want to activate the protocol?" asked. "That's a one-way ticket. If we do that, we're committing to war." "We're already at war," said. "The K have declared it. They just don't think we're worth fighting seriously. That's our advantage." Looked around the table. "This is not my decision alone. This colony belongs to all of us. We vote. Option 1, we leave. Option 2, we try negotiating. Option 3, we fight. Show of hands for Option 1. No hands went up. Option 2. 3 hands rose, noted them. Option 3. 7 hands went up, including doctors. Was surprised to see the scientist vote for war. He asked. She looked at him with steady eyes. "I've studied species extinction for 20 years. I know what happens to species that run. They run again and again until there's nowhere left to run. The K have conquered this entire sector. If we leave, we'll just find more K or worse. At least here, we have a chance to make a stand." Nodded slowly. He looked at each person around the table. They were scared, but they were determined. These were people who had left Earth knowing they might never see it again. They were brave enough to cross the stars. They could be brave enough to defend their new home. "Then it's decided," said. "We stay, we fight." He turned to activate Protocol Indomitable, wake up everyone we need. Engineers, pilots, weapons specialists. We have 48 hours to prepare. As everyone left the room to begin preparations, stayed behind. "Captain, you know this is crazy, right? We're one ship against 12 warships." Smiled. It was a tired smile, but it had steel in it. "My grandfather fought in Earth's last war. He told me something I never forgot. He said humans don't fight to win quickly. We fight to never lose. The K are about to learn that lesson." Grinned. "Well then, let's teach them. I've got some ideas about weaponizing our mining lasers." As left, Captain looked out at the stars. In 48 hours, the K would return expecting to find either an empty system or a cowering colony ship begging for mercy. They would find neither. They would find humans, and that would be their first mistake. The Perseverance transformed overnight. Hallways that once echoed with quiet footsteps now buzzed with activity. People ran in every direction carrying tools, weapons, and equipment. The ship was preparing for war. Engineer stood in the cargo bay surrounded by mining equipment. He had 6 engineers with him, all working frantically. "We need to turn these mining lasers into weapons," he said. "The cutting lasers can slice through asteroids. They should work on alien hull armor too." "But they're short range," one engineer pointed out. "We'd have to get close to their ships." "Then we get close," said. "Mount them on the mining drones. We'll send the drones out like missiles. If the K shoot them down, fine. If they don't, we cut holes in their ships." In another part of the ship, Lieutenant was training pilots. There were 15 of them, mostly young people who had learned to fly shuttles and mining craft. They had never been in combat. "Listen carefully," said. "The K fight with overwhelming force. They come straight at enemies with big ships and big guns. They expect everyone to fight the same way. We won't. We'll use Earth's oldest military tactics: hit and run, feints and traps, chaos." A young pilot named Jin raised his hand. "Lieutenant, their ships are faster than ours. How do we hit and run when they can catch us?" Smiled. "Good question. We don't run away from them. We run through debris fields, through asteroid clusters, through places their big ships can't follow. We make them afraid to chase us." Jin nodded slowly. "So we use the environment as our weapon." "Exactly. On Earth, humans hunted animals 10 times our size. We didn't fight them face to face. We used traps, terrain, and our brains. We'll do the same thing here." Doctor worked in her lab with a scientist named Wu. They were studying everything they knew about the K. "Look at this," said, pointing at her screen. The K have energy shields, but watch what happens when two shields touch each other. Wu leaned closer. The video showed two K ships passing near each other. When their shields got too close, they pushed against each other like magnets. They repel each other, Wu said. Exactly. Their ships can't get too close to each other or the shields interfere. That's a weakness. If we can get between their ships, they can't shoot us without hitting each other. Wu's eyes lit up. And if we can create our own shield frequency, we might be able to disrupt theirs. That's what I'm thinking. We don't have the technology to make shields like theirs, but we have magnetic field generators. If we overload them, we might create enough interference to weaken their shields. Captain walked through the ship, checking on everyone. He stopped at the medical bay where Doctor was preparing emergency supplies. "How are we looking?" he asked. Didn't look up from her work. "I have enough supplies to treat maybe 50 serious injuries. After that, we'll be using bandages and prayers." "Let's hope it doesn't come to that." "Hope isn't a medical strategy," Captain said, but she smiled slightly. "But I suppose it's all we have right now." Moved on to the communications room where Saul was working. She had a strange look on her face. "Captain, you need to see this," she said. "What is it?" "I've been studying K communications. They use a very direct, aggressive style. No humor, no cultural references, just threats and orders." Saul pulled up audio files. "I've also been looking at what we know about their psychology. They've never encountered a species that uses psychological warfare." "What are you suggesting?" Saul grinned. "I'm suggesting we mess with their heads, confuse them, make them angry, scared even. We broadcast things they don't understand. Music, art, chaos. Make them think we're unpredictable and dangerous." Raised an eyebrow. "You want to use our culture as a weapon?" "Why not? We have 40,000 hours of human music, movies, and art in our database. Some of it is beautiful, some of it is terrifying. Let's show them what humanity really is." 24 hours passed. The crew worked without stopping. Then, with 24 hours left before the deadline, the K sent another message. Commander In appeared on the screen again. "I am impressed, humans. You have not fled, but I wonder if you understand your situation. Let me show you." The view changed. It showed one K warship firing at a small asteroid. The plasma cannon hit the rock and it exploded into dust. "That is what will happen to your ship," In said. "You have 24 hours remaining. Use them to run or use them to pray. It does not matter to me." When the transmission ended, laughed. "They're trying to scare us." "Is it working?" asked. "A little bit," admitted. "But fear can be useful, it keeps us alert." He pulled up a holographic display. "Captain, I want to show you what we've prepared." The display showed the Perseverance surrounded by dozens of small craft, mining drones, construction pods, and escape shuttles. Each one had been modified. "We've armed 20 mining drones with cutting lasers. Another 30 drones are carrying explosive charges. We've loaded 10 shuttles with magnetic net launchers. And we've rigged 15 escape pods with false life signs." "False life signs?" asked. "Stepped forward. Decoys. When the battle starts, we launch them in every direction. The K will think they're full of escaping colonists. They'll waste time and resources chasing them down. Some pods have explosives inside. Some have recordings. One has a looping video message." "What kind of message?" Jin grinned. "Me, laughing and waving at the camera. I figured if I'm going to die today, I might as well annoy them first." Despite everything, laughed. It felt good to laugh. "All right, what else?" Wu spoke up. "We've created a magnetic pulse weapon. It's crude, but it should disrupt their shields for a few seconds. We only have one shot with it, though. The generators will burn out after one use." "When should we use it?" "When it will hurt them most," Wu said. "We'll know the moment when we see it." Added, "I've been mapping their likely attack patterns. The K always attack in formation. 3 ships in front, 3 on each side, 3 in back. They surround their target and fire from all directions. It's effective against most enemies. But not against us, asked. Not if we refuse to stay surrounded. We keep moving. We use debris as cover. We force them to break formation. The final 12 hours passed too quickly. Everyone took shifts to rest, but no one slept well. They all knew what was coming. 1 hour before the deadline, Captain called everyone to the bridge. The 5,000 colonists remained in sleep. They would wake up in a new world, or they would never wake up at all. I won't give you a long speech, said. You all know what we're facing. The K think we're weak. They think we'll surrender or die easily. Let's prove them wrong. Let's show them what humans can do. Lieutenant stepped forward. Remember your training, stay unpredictable, help each other, and if you get a shot at one of their ships, take it. Engineer added, all weapons are ready, all systems are go. Let's make them regret coming here. The countdown began, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Then on the 12K warships appeared. They were huge, dark, and covered in weapons. They moved into formation around the Perseverance like wolves circling prey. Commander N's voice came through the speakers. Humans, your time is up. Surrender now and we will kill you quickly. Resist and we will make you suffer. Captain stood up. He looked at his crew. They were scared, but they were ready. He opened a channel to the K commander. Commander N said calmly, we're not surrendering, we're not running. This is our planet now. If you want it, come and take it. There was silence, then N laughed. So be it, destroy them. The battle began. The first plasma blast missed the Perseverance by 50 meters. It was a warning shot. The second blast would not miss. All ships launch now, Captain shouted. Suddenly, the space around the Perseverance exploded with activity. 30 mining drones shot out in every direction. 15 escape pods launched at full speed. 10 shuttles armed with magnetic nets spread out in a wide formation. The K had expected to face one target. Now they faced 50. What is this? Commander N shouted over the communication channel. What are they doing? His tactical officer looked confused. Sir, I'm reading life signs in all the escape pods. The humans are evacuating. Then destroy them, kill them all. The K warships opened fire. Plasma cannons lit up the darkness of space. 3 escape pods exploded immediately. But as they exploded, they released clouds of metallic debris. The debris spread out, creating a shield of floating metal between the Perseverance and the K fleet. Clever, N muttered, but it won't save them. Then the music started. It came through every communication channel. Loud, aggressive human music, electric guitars screaming, drums pounding, a human voice roaring words the K couldn't understand. On the K ships, crew members covered their ears. What is that noise? One alien shouted. Turn it off, another yelled. But they couldn't turn it off. The humans were broadcasting on every frequency. Sir, we're being jammed, the tactical officer reported. We can't communicate with half our fleet. N slammed his fist on the console. Use backup channels and find that colony ship. But finding the Perseverance was harder than expected. It had moved behind a cluster of asteroids. The mining drones were cutting through the rocks, creating more debris. The shuttles were laying down magnetic nets that disrupted K sensors. I can't get a clear reading, the sensor officer said. There's too much interference. N pointed at the debris field. Send 3 ships in, find them and kill them. 3 K warships moved toward the asteroids. They were careful, moving slowly through the floating rocks. Their shields glowed blue as small pieces of debris bounced off. Then one of the asteroids moved. It wasn't an asteroid. It was a mining drone covered in rock dust. Its cutting laser fired at point-blank range, slicing through the warship's shield and cutting deep into its hull. Atmosphere vented into space. The warship spun out of control. Ambush, someone screamed. 2 more mining drones appeared from the debris. They flew straight at the second warship, their lasers cutting into the engines. The ship exploded in a ball of fire. The third warship tried to retreat, but a magnetic net caught it. The net wrapped around the ship like a spider's web, disrupting its shields and pulling it off course. It crashed into an asteroid and split in half. 3K warships destroyed in less than a minute. On the Perseverance's bridge, everyone cheered, but Captain stayed focused. Don't celebrate yet. They'll send more ships now. Get your pilots ready. Lieutenant was already moving. Jin, take your squadron and hit their left flank, fast and hard. Don't stay to fight. Hit them and get out. Understood, Jin replied. He led 5 armed shuttles out of the debris field. They flew low and fast, using the asteroids as cover. The K ships fired at them, but the shuttles were too small and too quick. Jin's shuttle got close to a K warship. Firing magnetic nets, he said. The nets shot out and wrapped around the warship's weapons. For a moment, the big ship couldn't fire. That moment was enough. The other shuttles fired their mining lasers at the same ship. The lasers cut through weak points in the armor. The warship's weapons exploded, taking half the ship with them. That's 4 down, Jin shouted. 9 to go. But the K were learning. They stopped moving in formation. They spread out and started hunting the human craft individually. 2 shuttles were destroyed. 3 mining drones exploded under concentrated fire. We're losing ships, reported. We can't keep this up forever. We don't have to, Doctor said. She was watching the K fleet movements. They're getting angry, making mistakes. Look, 2 of their ships are too close to each other. Their shields are interfering. Captain saw it too. 2 K warships had gotten so focused on chasing human shuttles that they had drifted too close together. Their shields were pushing against each other, creating a gap between them. Wu, is the magnetic pulse weapon ready? Asked. Yes, Captain. 1 shot, make it count. Fire it between those 2 ships, right in the gap. Wu pressed the button. The Perseverance released a massive electromagnetic pulse. It shot through space like invisible lightning. When it hit the gap between the 2 K ships, it exploded outward. Both ships' shields collapsed. Their electrical systems went dead. Now hit them now, ordered. Every remaining human ship fired at the 2 disabled warships. Mining lasers, explosive drones, even the Perseverance's old defense cannons. Everything they had. The 2 K warships broke apart under the assault. 6 K ships destroyed, 6 remaining. On his flagship, Commander watched in disbelief. Half his fleet was gone, destroyed by mining equipment and cargo shuttles. His crew was panicking. The music was still playing, driving them crazy. Pull back, he ordered. Regroup at a safe distance. The remaining K ships retreated. They moved out of the asteroid field and formed a defensive circle. It opened a communication channel to the Perseverance. His 4 eyes were wide with rage and confusion. What are you? What kind of species fights like this? Captain appeared on the screen. He looked tired but determined. We're humans. We're weak, slow, and fragile, but we don't give up, ever. Even if you destroy this ship, you've already lost. Lost? I still have 6 warships. You have 1 broken colony ship. Smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Do you know what else we have? We have recordings of this battle. We have proof that 6 human ships destroyed 6 of your warships. We have evidence that you attacked a peaceful colony. And in 6 hours, an automated message will broadcast all of this to every species in this sector of space. In's face went pale. You're bluffing. Try me, said. Even if you win, everyone will know. The Great K Empire, nearly defeated by primitive humans. How many other species will think they can fight you now? How many rebellions will start in the systems you've conquered? The K commander said nothing. He was thinking, calculating. Continued, or you can leave now. Tell your empire that this system isn't worth the cost. We'll stay here. We won't bother you, but if you come back, we'll fight again. and next time we'll have had time to prepare even better defenses." And stared at the screen for a long moment. Then he cut the communication. On the Perseverance, everyone held their breath. What would the K do? For 10 minutes, nothing happened. The 6K warships just floated in space, not moving. Then slowly they turned around. Their engines fired up. One by one, they jumped to faster-than-light speed and disappeared. The K were leaving. For a moment, no one on the Perseverance moved. Then someone started clapping. Then another person. Soon the entire bridge was cheering. People were hugging each other, crying, laughing. "We did it," Lieutenant said, disbelief in her voice. "We actually did it." Captain slumped in his chair. Every muscle in his body hurt. He felt like he'd aged 10 years in the last hour. "Get me damage reports. How many people did we lose?" Checked his screen. His smile faded. 14 dead, 23 injured. We lost 8 shuttles, 19 drones, and most of our mining equipment. The celebration on the bridge quieted. 14 people had died defending the colony. 14 people who would never see the planet below. "Prepare a memorial service," said quietly. "They died heroes." Doctor came on the communication channel. "Captain, the injured are stable, but I need better medical facilities. We need to land on the planet soon." "Agreed," said. He looked at the beautiful blue planet on the "Begin landing procedures. Wake up the colonists. It's time to go home." But as the ship prepared to land, Saul received a new transmission. Her face went white as she listened to it. "Captain," she said slowly, "we have a problem." "What now?" "That automated message you mentioned. The one that would broadcast the battle recording to the whole sector." "Yes." Saul swallowed hard. It wasn't just a bluff, was it? Someone actually set that up. Looked confused. "I was bluffing. I never set up any." "Well, someone did," Saul interrupted. "And it already sent. 47 different species have received footage of our battle, and they're all sending us messages. Some are congratulating us. Some are asking for help. And some," she paused, "some are asking how much it would cost to hire human mercenaries." Stared at her. Then he started laughing. He couldn't help it. They had won one battle, and somehow humanity had already become famous across the galaxy. "One problem at a time," he finally said. "First, we land. Then we build our colony. Then we figure out what to do about our new reputation." The Perseverance descended through the atmosphere toward its new home. The colonists would wake up to find they lived on a planet that was already theirs, paid for with 14 lives, and a lesson the galaxy would never forget. Never mess with humans. 3 months had passed since the battle. The colony was taking shape on the planet they now called New Earth. Simple buildings dotted the landscape near a river. Fields had been cleared for farming. Children played in the grass while their parents worked to build a civilization from nothing. Captain stood on a hill overlooking the colony. Doctor joined him, carrying 2 cups of coffee. Real coffee, made from beans they had brought from Earth 40 years ago. "Thank you," said, taking the cup. The coffee was bitter but wonderful. "The memorial looks good," said, pointing at a stone monument they had built. 14 names were carved into it. The people who had died defending the colony. "They deserved better than this," said quietly. "They deserved to see what they were fighting for." "They saw it," replied. "In their minds they knew what this place would become. That's why they fought." Sipped his coffee. "Have you heard the latest messages from other species?" "All of them," said with a tired smile. 53 different alien civilizations have contacted us. 20 want to establish trade. 15 want to hire us as military consultants. 10 want to join forces against the K. And 8 want us to teach them how to fight like we do." "It's crazy," said. "We won one battle, and suddenly everyone thinks we're master warriors." "Maybe we are," suggested. "We did defeat a fleet that had never lost before." Before could respond, Lieutenant ran up the hill. "Captain, We're receiving a transmission, it's the K. And looked at each other. The same fleet? Asked. No, sir. This is coming from there. It's marked as an official diplomatic communication. They hurried to the communications center. The building was small, barely more than a large room with equipment inside. Saul was already there, looking nervous. Play it, ordered. The screen flickered. A K appeared, but this one looked different, older, wearing elaborate robes instead of military armor. I am High Counselor of the K Empire. I speak for our government. We wish to negotiate with the human colony. Exchanged glances with his team. This is Captain, we're listening. First, I must address the incident 3 months ago. Commander enacted without proper authorization. He has been disciplined. The K Empire does not wish to continue hostilities with humanity. That's good to hear, said carefully. What exactly are you proposing? 4 eyes blinked slowly. We propose a peace treaty. Your colony may remain on this planet. We will not interfere. In return, we ask that you do not spread false information about our military capabilities. Leaned close to and whispered, they're embarrassed. They want us to stop telling everyone we beat them. Nodded, too, he said, we haven't spread any false information. We've only shared the truth about what happened. If you want us to stop talking about it, you'll need to offer more than just a promise not to attack us again. Was silent for a moment. What do you want? Technology sharing, said. Medical knowledge, agricultural techniques, anything that will help our colony survive and grow. We're not asking for weapons, just knowledge. That is acceptable, but there is another matter. Looked uncomfortable. We need your help. Our help, was surprised. With what? There are rebellions in 3 of our conquered systems, species that saw your battle recording. They believe they can fight us now. They're using your tactics, guerrilla warfare, unconventional weapons. They're causing significant problems. Couldn't help but smile. So you want us to help you stop rebellions that we inspired? No, said quickly. We want you to mediate, to help us negotiate with these species. If they can have independence without bloodshed, we are willing to consider it. But they won't talk to us. They only want to fight. Perhaps they will listen to humans. Sat back in his chair, thinking. This was a complicated situation. The K Empire was crumbling because of what humanity had done. But that also meant more bloodshed, more death. I need to discuss this with my people, said. Give us 3 days. Agreed, said. We will wait for your response. The transmission ended. That evening, called a meeting with all the colony's senior staff. 20 people gathered in the largest building they had constructed. So let me understand this, engineer said. The K want us to help them save their empire. More or less, replied. They're offering technology and knowledge in exchange for diplomatic assistance. It's a trap, someone said. They'll use us and then betray us. Maybe, said, but consider this. Right now, the K see us as dangerous enemies. If we help them, they might see us as valuable allies instead. That's much safer for our colony in the long run. Lieutenant spoke up. There's also the moral question. Those rebellions are happening because of us. Species are dying because they saw our battle and thought they could win too. Don't we have some responsibility to help stop the violence? We didn't start those rebellions, someone argued. The K did by conquering those species in the first place. True, admitted. But we showed everyone that the K could be beaten. We gave them hope. Shouldn't we also help them find a peaceful path to freedom? The debate went on for hours. Some people wanted to reject the K offer completely. Others wanted to accept it immediately. Finally, called for a vote. The result was close, but the majority agreed. They would help negotiate. 2 weeks later, a K ship arrived at New Earth. It carried Commander In. He was no longer a commander. He had been demoted to a simple diplomat. His armor was gone, replaced by plain gray clothing. Met him at the landing site. It looked smaller than he had on the months ago. defeated. Captain In said, I must apologize for my actions. I underestimated your species. I called you weak and primitive. I was wrong. Studied the alien. Why did they send you? You attacked us, threatened to kill 5,000 people. Now they want you to be our diplomatic escort. Because I learned, In said simply. I learned what humans are capable of. I learned that strength isn't just about weapons and ships. It's about will, determination, the refusal to surrender even when all logic says you should. He looked at with something that might have been respect. You taught me that lesson. The High Council believes I can teach it to others. And what do you believe? Asked. In was quiet for a moment. I believe the K Empire has been strong for so long that we forgot what real strength looks like. We thought conquering others made us powerful, but you showed us that the truly powerful are those who fight for something worth dying for. Your colonists, your families, your future. That's real strength. Offered his hand. Then let's work together, not as enemies, as partners trying to prevent more bloodshed. In looked at the hand. He had never seen this human gesture before. Carefully, he reached out and grasped it. His hand was much larger than's, but's grip was firm. I must warn you, In said. This won't be easy. The rebellions are violent. Many K soldiers have died. There is much anger on both sides. Nothing worth doing is easy, replied. We learned that crossing 40 light years to get here. We learned it again defending our home. We can learn it once more making peace. Over the next month assembled a diplomatic team. Doctor would handle first contact protocols. Lieutenant would provide security. Saul would manage communications. And Pilot Jin insisted on coming along because, as he said, someone has to keep things interesting. They boarded a K diplomatic ship and set course for the first rebellion. It was on a planet called 5, home to a species called the had been conquered by the K 10 years ago. When they saw the human battle recording, they had risen up in rebellion. Thousands had already died on both sides. As the ship approached 5, stood at the window watching the planet grow larger, he thought about the 14 people who had died defending New Earth. They had fought so their colony could live in peace. Now it was time to help others find that same peace. Captain In said behind him, thank you for doing this, for helping us. Didn't turn around. We're not doing this for you. We're doing it because it's right. But maybe, if we succeed, humans and K can build something better than what came before. What would that look like? In asked. Smiled. A galaxy where species don't have to choose between surrendering and dying, where there's a third option, working together. The ship entered orbit around 5. Below, a war was raging, but somewhere down there maybe there was a chance for peace. And humans would find it. 6 months after the battle, Captain stood in a meeting room on 5. Around him sat leaders from 3 different species, though with their blue skin and 6 arms. The K, including In, and a new species called the peaceful traders who had come seeking human help. The negotiations had not been easy. They were angry after 10 years of occupation. The K were stubborn, unwilling to admit their empire was built on conquest. Many times had thought the talks would fail. But slowly progress was made. We propose this, said, displaying a document on the holographic projector. They gain independence. They control their own planet and government. The K withdraw their military but maintain a small embassy for trade purposes. Both sides agree to a 20-year peace treaty. The leader, a female named, studied the document. What about reparations? The K destroyed our cities, killed our people. The K will provide resources and technology to help rebuild, said. Not as payment for past crimes. Think of it as investment in future peace. A K general slammed his fist on the table. We will not pay tribute to defeated enemies. Then you'll fight forever, Lieutenant said calmly, because they won't stop fighting. We taught them how. And every day you fight, more K soldiers die. How long until there are no soldiers left? The general opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. He knew she was right. And spoke up. The High Council has authorized me to accept these terms. We will withdraw and provide resources, but the peace treaty must be honored by both sides. A looked at her advisors. They whispered in their language. Finally, she nodded. We accept. But understand this, humans. We do this because you helped us, because you showed us that fighting can end without one side being destroyed. We owe you a debt. You owe us nothing, said. Just promise to give peace a real chance. That's all we ask. 3 days later, the treaty was signed. The K forces from 5, the celebrated in the streets. His diplomatic team prepared to return to New Earth. But before they could leave, the representative approached them. Her name was Ambassador Na. She was small, with silver skin and large eyes that seemed to see everything. Captain, she said, my people need to speak with you. About what? Asked. Protection. They are traders and explorers. We have no military. For centuries, we have paid protection fees to various empires. But now, with the K weakened, pirates are attacking our ships. We need defenders. We're not mercenaries, said firmly. We don't want mercenaries, Na replied. We want allies. We offer advanced navigation technology and rare resources from across the galaxy. In return, we ask that you teach us how to defend ourselves, and perhaps, if we are attacked, you might consider helping us. Doctor pulled aside. This is how it starts, she whispered. First one species, then another. Soon we'll be building an alliance network across the galaxy. Is that a bad thing? Asked. Not bad, just big, much bigger than we planned when we left Earth. Thought about it. They had come to this sector of space just to build a simple colony, to farm and live peaceful lives. But circumstances had changed them. They had become something else, something the galaxy needed. Tell your people we're interested, said to Na. But we need to return home first. We'll send a full diplomatic team to you in 2 months. Na bowed. Thank you, Captain, you give us hope. The journey back to New Earth took 3 weeks. When they arrived, was shocked by what he saw. The colony had grown, more buildings, larger fields, and in orbit 2 new ships. They were human-designed but built using K technology shared as part of their agreement. Engineer met them at the landing pad, grinning widely. Welcome home, what do you think? What are those ships? Asked, pointing at the orbit. Defense platforms. We're not taking any chances. If anyone comes to attack us again, we'll be ready. We've also built 3 fast courier ships. We can send messages anywhere in the sector now. You've been busy, said, impressed. We had to be. Do you know how many visitors we've had? 17 different species have sent representatives here. Everyone wants to meet the humans who defeated the K. Everyone wants to trade or form alliances or learn from us. Felt overwhelmed. 17 species. We're just a colony. We're supposed to be farmers. Laughed. We're farmers who won a war. That makes us special. Come on, you need to see what else we've built. He led them to a large building near the center of the colony. It was 3 stories tall, the biggest structure they had. Inside, it was filled with people working at computer stations and communication equipment. What is this? Asked. This is the diplomatic center, explained. We needed a place to receive and process all the messages we're getting. We have translators, analysts, and diplomats working here full-time. And look over there. He pointed to a wall covered with screens. Each screen showed a different alien species. Those are our current diplomatic channels. We're in negotiations with 10 different species right now. Trade agreements, defense pacts, cultural exchanges. Humans are becoming a major player in this region of space. Pilot Jin walked in, followed by a group of young pilots. Captain, you're back, did you hear? 3 species want us to train their pilots. Can you believe it? They want to learn human combat tactics. We're not teachers, protested. We are now, Jin said cheerfully. I've already started planning a training program. We call it the Human Defense Initiative. Catchy, right? Sat down heavily in a chair. Everything was moving so fast. They had been a colony for less than a year, and already they were becoming the center of a growing alliance network. That evening walked alone to the Memorial Hill. The stone monument still stood there, the 14 names carved forever. He stood before it as the sun set, painting the sky orange and purple. "I hope we're doing right by you," he said to the names. "You fought to protect our home. Now that home is becoming something bigger. I hope that's okay." "I think they'd be proud," a voice said behind him. "It was Doctor. They died so we could be free. Now we're helping others be free too. That's a good legacy." Nodded. "I keep thinking about something," said. "He called us weak, fragile, primitive, and technically he was right. We are weaker than most species. We can't run as fast or lift as much. Our technology was outdated, but we won anyway." "Because we're stubborn," said with a smile. "Humans don't know when to quit. It's our greatest strength and our biggest flaw." "Is it though?" asked. "A flaw, I mean. Every species we've met knows when to surrender. They calculate the odds and give up when they can't win. But humans don't. We fight even when we should lose. We survive even when we should die. Maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe that's what makes us special." Took his hand. "You know what's going to happen, right? This story will spread. The colony that fought 12 warships and won. The species that refused to give up. Humans will become legends in this part of space." "We're not legends," said. "We're just people trying to survive." "That's what makes it a good legend. It's true." Over the next year, the colony on New Earth continued to grow. The population increased as more colonists were awakened from sleep. The diplomatic center expanded. Trade ships began arriving regularly. The defense platforms were upgraded. And the story spread. On a merchant vessel crossing the galaxy, a trader told her children about the humans. They were outnumbered 12-1. Their ship was old and slow, but they fought with such ferocity that the K fleet fled in fear. On a military academy on the other side of the sector, instructors taught students about unconventional warfare. Study the Battle of New Earth. The humans turned mining equipment into weapons. They used their environment. They fought unpredictably. This is how a weaker force defeats a stronger one. On planets that had been conquered, people whispered the story in secret. If the humans could resist, so can we. If they could win, maybe we can too. The K Empire continued to crumble, not through war but through negotiation. Species after species gained independence, often with human mediators helping with the talks. The K didn't disappear, but they changed. They became traders instead of conquerors, partners instead of masters. And at the center of it all was a small human colony on a blue-green planet. A colony that had come seeking only peace but had been forced to fight. A colony that had won against impossible odds, and in doing so had changed an entire region of space. On New Earth, life went on. Farmers planted crops. Children went to school. Engineers built new machines. Scientists studied alien technology. Diplomats negotiated treaties. Pilots trained students from a dozen different species. Captain, now officially governor, stood at his office window looking out at the colony. 20,000 humans lived here now, with more arriving each year. The colony had become a city. The city would become a civilization. Doctor entered his office carrying a tablet. "You need to see this. It just came through the communication network." Took the tablet. It showed a message from a species he'd never heard of. They lived on the far side of K space. They were being oppressed by a different empire. They had heard the story of New Earth. They were asking for help. "What do we tell them?" asked. Looked at the message for a long time. Then he smiled. "We tell them what in learned, what the whole galaxy needs to learn. Strength isn't about size or weapons or technology. It's about having something worth fighting for. And we tell them that if they're willing to fight for their freedom, humans will help them find a way." So we're really doing this. becoming the defenders of the weak. We're not defenders, we're teachers. We're showing the galaxy that no one has to accept tyranny, that even the weakest can resist, that giving up is always a choice and you can choose differently. Looked at the message. You know what they're calling us out there. In the cantinas and trading posts and spaceports, they call us the impossible species, the ones who win when they should lose, the ones who refuse to die. I can think of worse reputations, said. As night fell on New Earth, the stars came out. Somewhere in those stars were species suffering under oppression. Somewhere out there were empires that thought they were invincible. Somewhere in the galaxy, someone was being told they were too weak to resist. But now they had hope. They had seen what humans could do. They knew the story. And the story was simple. It had been told 1,000 times in 1,000 places. It would be told 1,000 more times in the years to come. The story was this. There's a young species in the outer rim. They have weak bodies. They have short lives. They have slow ships. But they have one trait that every empire should fear. One trait that makes them dangerous. One trait that changes everything. They absolutely refuse to give up. So if you're an empire built on conquest, if you're a tyrant who thinks you're invincible, if you're someone who believes that might makes right, remember this. Never mess with humans.